Hi guys, for today, you should be finishing up your own Pong game, but then while we're grading, you're going to be working on getting all the sprites that you need for your next game, which is going to be a drag and drop. For my example one, it's going to be like a grocery store. And I tell you on Canvas that I'm going to have pictures of apples, bananas, grapes, watermelon, and strawberries. So I have 5 sprites I'm going to be moving around. And then I'm also going to add 5 small dots of different colors to use as my targets, and I need a produce section of a grocery store as a background. So the first thing I'll do is start finding all my pictures. So I'll go to images. Those are good. I'm going to call them grapes so I know where they are. I'll get my watermelons. While I'm getting my pictures, I'm watching this file type to make sure it doesn't come in as something weird. Make sure it's something I can still use. All right, so you get the point on that. Once I get all the pictures that I need, I have to look at them again. So I'm going to pull them back up on my desktop. And I can see my grapes have a white background, my watermelon has a background, but my strawberries don't. So these two, the grapes and the watermelon, are going to need to have the backgrounds removed before I can add them to App Inventor. So I'm going to go to Remove BG. Choose my grapes. Download those. Go back to Remove BG, get my watermelons. Wonderful, download those. Then I need my produce section of the grocery store. I mostly have fruits, so maybe I'm going to change that to the fruit section in the grocery store. I'm trying to find something that I can drop my fruit on that will make sense. So maybe I should have found my background first and then picked my produce. I'll just go with this one for now. And I see I've got a JPEG, a PNG, a couple more JPEGs. So I think I'm good to go. Then I'm going to go into App Inventor. And I'm going to make a new game. So start new project. This one's going to be called Drag and Drop. Leave all that stuff as default. And this game, I'm actually going to go horizontal for mine. So you're going to change this to tablet size. You're going to come down on your screen orientation. I'm going to change that to landscape. So I have my screen on here. And since I test on my phone, I'm going to go back. You stay on tablet. I'm going to add a canvas. And I'm going to tell the canvas to have a 95% height, and I'm going to tell it to have a 95% width. One more thing I need on here is a horizontal arrangement that will keep my timer and my score. My horizontal arrangement is going to have a height of 5 because that's all I have left. And my width can be 95 just like it was for my canvas. I've got my 2 things on here. I can throw on my labels for my timer and my score. And then I need to start adding image sprites and backgrounds for my canvas. So I'm going to upload my media files. I don't want those grapes, but I do want that produce. That's going to be the background of my canvas. Wonderful. I'm going to come down to, I'm going to shut some of these so I can see better. Drawing and animation, I'm going to drop image sprites on here. I need 5 image sprites that I'm going to drag around the screen. I'm going to rename them. to whatever fruit I happen to be using. I know potatoes aren't a fruit, they're going on there anyway. I kind of picked fruits that were in my background. So I'm going to have these, and I'm going to look at where they are right now. I need them to start somewhere that's not on my target, and these are my targets down here. So I've got those. I've got them listed up here. I can add their pictures when I'm ready. What's going to be important is to, like watermelon, let me upload that one. And I'll add my grapes. Hit OK, there's my grapes. So I need to change these to be pretty small so they fit at the very top of my screen. So I'm going to try going with like 25 pixels to start for my grapes. And now they're super tiny. The box is tight around them. Same thing with my watermelon. I'm going to try 25. This is where you might have to change yours. Okay, so I've got my grapes, I've got my watermelons. What I need to do is on a piece of paper or on a notepad in my iPad or somewhere that I'm going to be able to keep track of these, I need to write down my X and Y coordinates because we're going to have to do some global variables for these. So for my grapes, I have an X of 13 and a Y of 1. My watermelon has an X of 110 and a Y of 2, and I can see those over here. Now that I can see them on here, I like where they are, I can go to block, and I'm going to start initializing variables. So the first one I'm going to do is initialize grapes X start, is what I'm going to name it. And the number that goes in there is the number I wrote down for this value right here. So my grapes start at an X of 13. So I initialize that global variable to 13. I need to do the same thing for my Y and for my watermelons. I also need to initialize my grapes start Y, or grapes Y start, however you worded it. And my start is a 1. And you'll do that for all 5 of your things that you're going to be dragging around the screen. Okay, so I should have 10 of these total, 2 for each of my items that I'm going to use. Then I also need some targets. So back on here, I'll probably go to Google and I need a red ball. Image. I don't want to put it in remove BG, so I'm going to type in transparent PNG as part of my search so that hopefully when I save my image, that came in as a JPEG. I'm going to have to remove it anyway. That's fine. Save it as red dot. Back to remove BG. There's my red dot. Download that. Upload it to App Inventor. This one is also going to be an image sprite. So I'm going to put it, let's say right there. I'm going to name it Grape Target. So I know that when I'm coding, my grapes are going to have a target of that. And there's my red dot. It's giant, of course. Change the height and width of that. I know that my items themselves are only 25, so I shouldn't go more than 25 on the height and width of that one. Make sure I put it back where I want it to be. That's actually a little bigger than I want, so I'm going to move that down to a 10. I like the red because it stands out. All right, so there's my target. Again, I need to write down my X and Y coordinates for my grape target. So I've got a 119 for an X and an 81 for Y. I'm going to initialize variables again. And I like to organize mine next to each other. It makes it easier for me to see what I'm doing. So I've got my grape target X as 119. And I got a grape target Y. It's going to be an 81. So by the time you guys come into class on Monday, you need to have 10 of these start values, 5 X's, 5 Y's, and you need to have 10 of the targets, 5 target X's, 5 target Y's, so that we know where we're going to drag and drop to. We're not going to do these in class together. You're not going to have time, so you need to make sure these are done before you get to class on Monday.